Say I Do in St. Louis. I'm Dori Abell, and today we have one of my favorite frienders, Marianne Moore, the new editor for St. Louis Bride magazine.
Hi, Dori.
Hi, love. How are you?
I am so happy to be here today.
I'm excited too. So today we're going to be talking about the upcoming food trends for weddings in 2022.
I love to talk food.
I mean, I do too,
Right?
clearly.
So, food trends for 2022. What we're seeing is a lot of stations. So I would say that that's probably one of my first top food trends that we're seeing. Couples really want that interactive experience, right? They want their guests to be able to move, circulate, and not be set at a table for hours, right? 2 hours service, all of that. One thing to keep in mind though, is with those creative stations, sometimes the price point can be a little bit higher than what a plated dinner would be. And that's just because all of the different food offerings that you have create some extra labor, but honestly, it's so worth it. I love nothing more than seeing like a beautiful, beautiful styled food station that's just not your ordinary buffet. It's styled to match your wedding colors, to kind of reflect your florals and all of those things, and honestly tell their story through food. So maybe they met in Mexico, right?
For the viewers at home too, because I'm sure we've got some engaged couples that are like, wait, what's a food station and how is it different from a buffet?
I love that question, and that's a great question. Food stations are really just that. They're multiple offerings set in different places to create movement.
Okay.
Your buffet is just that, your standard buffet. Your guests come through and it is kind of, maybe it's a carving station, that carving station with maybe some chicken and pasta and all of those things. That's like that single offering. But the food stations really, for me, is the opportunity to tell their story.
So what would you say your 3 favorite, most beautiful appetizers?
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to make that first statement for your guests. So I love something that's very, very impactful.
Okay.
Something beautiful. I love hors d'oeuvres that are served in little vessels. So that perfect little seared tuna over a crispy cracker with a drizzle of wasabi. And at 23, we did beautiful, fun chicken and waffles. It was our riff on that classic chicken and waffle. The chicken was braised and it was actually put into a savory cone.
Cool.
So a little riff on that. And then I would say, obviously, something to really, really think about is your vegetarian and vegan guests too.
Ooh, yeah.
And I think that that's really important because, again, you want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable without going overboard. So I love to do a seasonal bruschetta. Something in the summer that may be a fresh mozzarella with a tomato relish. In the fall, it's a butternut squash kind of tapenade that goes over the top that's really, really pretty, flavorful, but that appeals to your vegetarian and vegan guests too.
And to your eyes. It's so
Absolutely,
pretty.
it's got to be beautiful.
Yes, babe. So for the engaged couple that is trying to figure out, all right, buffet, not really our thing, stations is what we're leaning towards. How many stations does a typical reception have or need, or?
I usually recommend a minimum of 3.
Okay.
Because depending on your guest list, depending on where you are, placement and number is extremely important to avoid lines. And what you want is to create that dynamic that this is not a buffet. You want to send that message. So a lot of times your MC, your DJ, your band leader will announce that the stations are open and you're welcome to utilize any of them. And so that just creates that flow. So I love 3 because that's a great number. We can get really creative on the theme of the stations too. I'm not about the themey, but I just feel like it's another way to tell your story. The whole wedding, how you met. I have one couple that is actually getting married in Mexico, and so they want to make a nod to that. So we're going to do a street taco station and then a few others, but a lot of heritage plays into it as well. I mean, I'm I'm an Italian girl, so I wouldn't have an event without a risotto station, pasta, all of that fun stuff too.
Yeah.
So we can get really, really creative with the food and beverage there.
Sidebar, Kevin James, the actor, how much do we love him?
A lot.
So he got married, it's been at least 15 years, and he did his favorite fast food places as stations at his wedding.
Those are the things that I feel really make your wedding yours and personal and unique. I had a couple that loved brunch, loved it. So their whole wedding that evening was breakfast for dinner.
Heck yeah.
And they did all brunch stations and a donut wedding cake.
Yeah.
I have a couple that loves, gyros. And
yes.
We are setting up for their cocktail reception a gyro, actually the whole thing, where the chef will be carving and he'll be creating these little mini gyros for their reception, which
so
I think is so fun, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be fun.
And if you can't, maybe if the stations aren't in your budget,
Right.
you can always talk with your catering expert and do like fun appetizers.
Absolutely, and that's another place that you can really wow your guests and bring that little element in. Had a couple from St. Louis, Chicago. So we did, for their past hors d'oeuvres, we did little T-Ravs, of course. What's more St. Louis than T-Ravs?
Right.
And little mini Chicago dogs.
Oh, that's
So again, it sets the tone for what your guests are going to experience.
Did you have like a Cardinals hat on the T-Ravs and a Cubs hat?
I wish we had, but no, there was a lot of Cards Cubs going on that night, for sure. So it's things like that, even bringing that into appetizers where you can really be a little bit more cost effective and do some fun things, for sure.
It's art that you eat.
All the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely, for sure.
So we can't have a wedding without drinks.
Right.
So let's talk about, well, you tell me about the trends. I know that signature cocktails are becoming popular.
Signature cocktails are so huge. And I don't see that as a trend that's going away anytime soon, because it's all these touch points in your wedding that, again, help to tell that story. So maybe it's a beer. We did a great beer wall for a client. 3 different kinds of beers, big, beautiful beer tap wall, and they were all personalized because I want to say that the bride's grandfather did the logo for PBR. So of course PBR was on the bar.
Of course.
And so it's again, those fun things, but what I'm seeing a lot of too is signature cocktails that are named after pets, obviously, and beautiful stationers, beautiful artists that are doing great things to go along with it, signage. So seeing a lot of that, seeing a lot of his versus hers. It may be that she's the one that loves bourbon. So, hers is an old fashioned, his is a martini. There's just a lot of fun things that you can do with that. But one thing that I think that couples tend to overlook a bit is the whole mocktail thing too.
That's right, for people that don't drink.
People that don't drink, people that are expecting, for whatever reason. And what we're seeing is a lot more attention to detail in that as well. Because with the NA beers that are out now, local, that's amazing.
Well-being, can we do a shout out?
Yeah, we can. Well-being is like one of my absolute favorites.
It's my go-to.
Of course. And it's so well done that it's very unexpected. But again, it's a way to show your guests that you're thinking about them as well. Because, again, you want everyone to be able to celebrate with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's fun.
Fabulous.
Right? Yeah.
This has been great. So Marianne Moore, thank you so much for joining me today.
It was so fun.
Oh, we'll have to have you back.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. Talk other fun stuff.
Yeah. Right now we're going to turn it over to Brian Klimaski, who is on Miss Augusta, the brand new private venue that is literally a yacht on the water. Brian, here's to you.
Who knew that we had a beautiful yacht here in St. Charles County? Let's go say hi to Molly and check out this love boat. I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be an awesome and unique experience. I got some surprises for you. Let's go meet Molly and the crew. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We're so glad to have you aboard Miss
So
Augusta
excited.
today.
So excited.
Isn't she beautiful?
She's absolutely gorgeous. Tell me something about her.
I would love to. Miss Augusta is a $4 million luxury yacht brought to St. Charles County by the Hoffman family of companies.
Okay.
It's part of the investment that they're making into the Augusta community.
So, do me a favor, introduce me to this wonderful looking crew.
Absolutely, I would love to. So first of all, we have our captain. This is Captain Birdie.
Sir, how are you? Nice to
Very
meet
good.
you.
Nice to meet you.
We have our vessel manager, Katie.
Hi, Katie. Nice to meet you.
Scott is our lead crew.
Scott, how are you, sir?
And Pat is our chef.
Hey, Pat.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me aboard, guys. Now that we met that wonderful crew, tell us about some of the events that you guys can bring to life.
Really, Brian, the sky is the limit. We can do anything here on Miss Augusta. We can do meetings, we can do class reunions, birthday parties, really whatever you can think of, because the best events are on the water. But I'll tell you, our favorite things to do are weddings.
I bet.
We absolutely love weddings here.
Well, that's what we're here to talk about. So please, walk us through, bring it to life, show us what you got.
Sure. So we really can accommodate all of the different occasions that go along with a wedding. So from the proposal, the engagement party, bachelorette parties, showers, any of that we could do, as well, of course, as the ceremony and the reception.
So this room is absolutely gorgeous. Can you tell me about the capabilities and what are you doing here?
Sure. So this is called our main salon, and we can accommodate up to 110 people for a seated meal. You'll notice that we have 2 different monitors, so we have a sound system, and if people come and they have a presentation or some kind of audio visual that they want to show, they're welcome to use those. We have a full service bar right behind you. We do feature all wines from the Hoffman family of company wineries, which include Balducci, Mount Pleasant, Montel, and Augusta.
Wonderful.
And then we do have, obviously, spirits, beer, soda, those type of things. We have this nice little bow area as well, and you can actually rent this little bow area if you have a private party from about 2 to 20 people or so.
Okay.
And it just kind of gives you a little private space. You can also rent just this level. We do have the galley back here, and beyond that are restrooms. So each level does feature its own full-service bar and restrooms, which is great.
Sounds
for a private
wonderful.
party.
So it can be as intimate as you want or spacious as you want.
Absolutely.
I love it. The main salon is absolutely gorgeous. Where are we going next?
Let's go upstairs to the upper salon.
Sounds wonderful.
So this level can seat up to about 50 people.
Okay.
And those doors during nice weather can be open completely, so you can actually have a whole open air section on this level as well.
So how would the event flow here?
So on this level, we would start with the wedding ceremony, and depending on how many people were in the ceremony, we could do it out on the deck or in this room. And then after the ceremony, the guests can go downstairs to have their dinner, and then they can come up here for some dancing.
Sounds so wonderful.
It is, and a really unique feature about this salon is, of course, our bride's room.
Oh, fancy.
We have this little private room for the bride to get ready or come take a break, whatever she needs to do.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Every bride's dream right here. What a beautiful dress that was. Can you imagine if this was part of your wedding experience? Let's go check out the rest. The inside of the yacht was absolutely gorgeous. What do you have to share on the outside?
So this is our outside deck. This is on the upper level of the boat. As you can see, it's open air, but it is covered, so it's really pleasant on a sunny day.
Right.
So it might not be as hot as, completely open. And it nice breeze and everything. People love it out here. It's beautiful.
Got
So I have one more thing I want to show you.
best for last?
Yes, come on up. Watch your step.
Thank you.
So this is our upper level sun deck.
Oh my gosh, would you look at this?
Isn't it great?
This is beautiful.
So we don't rent out this area because we want all of our guests to be able to just come up and enjoy it. But
wonderful.
if people want to have a wedding ceremony or something like that during their private event, they can certainly do that.
I think I might want to do my vow renewal up here.
Absolutely. Just give me a call. So this is a great space for people to just come up and enjoy the open air and being on the river.
I absolutely love it. Molly, this has been so wonderful. I'm really excited for brides to meet with you.
Me too. Being a new commodity here out in St. Charles County, we are so excited to show brides and grooms what we can do because we know that we can exceed their expectations.
There's no doubt about that. You and I both know there's no two weddings are alike. So how do you approach that?
Well, we are happy to customize a package however the bride and groom want it for their big day. Absolutely. And we do all the catering in-house. We have full service bar. We can provide any enhancement that they would like. Wedding cakes, flowers, DJ band, whatever, all to make their day just how they want it.
And who's going to coordinate all this for them?
That would be me.
You're going to be their cruise director?
Absolutely. I'll be their very own Julie McCoy.
I love it. That's wonderful.
Hey friends, welcome back. And Brian, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you, Dori.
How was the tour?
It was unbelievable.
Tell me all about it.
You would not believe how beautiful this yacht venue is and hospitable the crew, and Molly is an absolute sweetheart. Anyone will be so lucky to work with her.
We love her.
Yeah.
So what did you see? What was your favorite spot?
Well, you know, I saw a lot, but on the way of seeing these things, I made one of my new best friends.
Yeah?
Captain Birdie, he was spectacular.
Okay.
Had me up on the bridge. You would have thought I owned the place.
I love that.
He's pointing out bald eagles, and I had the cruise of my life.
Very cool. Maybe one of these days we'll buy a yacht for the show.
I would like that. We should work on it.
Yeah. So let's see. You got to see everything that they offered. What was your favorite location on the ship?
Well, I had three things that really stood out. When I first entered the yacht, up in the front in the bow, there's a beautiful lounge that Molly was showing me can be a private gathering inside of the first floor there. So that was pretty neat.
Nice.
And then as you make your way up to the second deck, in the back and the aft, there was a beautiful outdoor patio that I thought would be a great dance floor or cocktail lounge.
Okay.
And last but not least, you make your way up to the third deck, and that sun deck was unbelievable. You're 30, 40 feet high, open air view, cruising down the river. I'm thinking I might do a little vow renewal.
Ooh, Becky. I will hold him to that.
That's a great spot.
Well, I think it's time for our wedding sashimi.
Please, what do you have?
So this is brought to us by Vicki Smith, one of my other favorite frienders who owns Mia Grace Bridal in Chesterfield. And here's what she says. When trying to find the perfect silhouette for your wedding day, it's very important to have an open mind and to try all different styles available. Often a bride has a certain vision of what her wedding dress is going to look like, but then after trying that specific fit on alongside other varieties of others, they may find that they feel more bridal in a different silhouette. The most important part of having an open mind is to trying different styles and finding one that makes you feel the most beautiful, that expresses your true individuality, even if it's not what you expected to love or what others envisioned for you. So great advice when you're dress shopping. Keep an open mind. Try on a bunch of different dresses.
I suggest keep an open mind when you're speaking with any of your vendors.
I think so. And listen to their advice. They know what's good for you. Well, this has been such a fun episode of Say I Do in St. Lou.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us today. And until we see you next time, happy planning.
We'll see you next week for another adventure. Cheers.